Hello. I think I'm live. I've never done this before. It's really scary. Right. Just gonna see if anybody joins us soon. I'm 1 minute early. I'm never early. This is new for me. Hello. I think we've got two people with me. Hello. Very punctual. Very impressed. Right. Let's just go live on Instagram. So much technology here. Right. Let's give it a whirl. Live. Oh God. Sorry for this, Facebook people. I'm just this double thing is quite scary for me. Live. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's all going on. So I've got a cushion here because I feel on the Instagram one I'm quite exposed. Hi, King's Head saying hi to me. Thank you. Cool. So guys, I'm just gonna wait. Sorry for my face doing this. I'm gonna try and pay equal attention to both Facebook and Instagram, but I can't get it quite even so that I can just look at one of you. So I'm just going to leave it for a couple of minutes to let a few more people join, and then we'll get going. Please ask questions and get involved. Hey Scarlett, hey Keegan, see some people joining on Instagram. Yeah, please ask questions. You're so welcome to the whole time because this is all about creating authentic work and being truthful and letting go of the shackles that bind us in negative self-talk and perfectionism and all of that stuff that we're so guilty of allowing to well, that holds us back, doesn't it? And we allow ourselves that when we shouldn't. So please ask questions. If you're just joining, so I'm seeing some more of you, I will get going in a couple of minutes, but I just want to give some time for more people to join so that they don't miss anything. How are you all? Give me a wave on Facebook if you fancy it. Hey Tara. I don't know if we can do that on Facebook, but yeah, feel free to ask anything. If you've got any questions now as well, hit me and then I can definitely incorporate them into what I say. Hey Scarlett, thanks for being with us. Yeah, so I wanted to play some music for you, but I can only really do that out of my phone or my laptop. And I thought that would probably be really loud and inappropriate, so I didn't do that. But you have a sway, have a sing. I'll just give it like another minute and then I will get going. Yeah, thanks so much for joining. For anybody new, because there are a couple of new people, yeah, just give me a couple of minutes and we will start. Literally a minute. Hey guys, got some more. How are you all today? I hope you're good. I hope you're all really good. For anyone who missed it, sorry that I'm doing the two. I'm looking in two directions. I'm not that technologically advanced, so I couldn't quite get them in front of each other without one just being miles away. So I am sorry. So you've got two slightly different angles of my head, but I'll do my best to bring you both in. So I'm just going to kick off, and people can, join us as they please. So my name is Tori Allen Martin, and I'm an actress, singer, writer, director, producer. I mean, producer sort of because I had to, rather than that being my skill set. It was the only way I could get work on for a while. And I ran a company called Interval Productions for around 10 years, where we produced all original theatre writing, mainly with a focus on new musicals that kind of broke the mould and were more contemporary and felt more authentic to who we were, the sort of music you'd listen to on the radio rather than your more traditional jazz hand style. And then I don't run Interval so much anymore, though I am still interested in putting on work, but I'm the co-founder of Burn Bright, which is an organisation to help level the playing field for women writers. And I run that with Sarah Henley, who also ran Interval Productions with me. And we've got some new initiatives coming up. We launched during lockdown, so it's still a really new company. And we hope to grow and yeah, get bigger and brighter, and offer as many opportunities as we can for women writers. And indeed, as it goes out, sort of the focus is to help marginalized groups as much as possible and make sure that their voices are heard, because there's just not enough of that. And I think, especially in light of everything that's going on with this pandemic and the funding and where that funding is going to go, I think, you know, now more than ever, we need to ensure that voices from marginalized groups are prioritized and elevated and amplified and supported, because it can be really rough out there, can't it? And really yeah, really scary. So today, when I was asked to do this, and I'm so grateful to the King's Head Theatre for asking me to do this, I've not worked there myself, but I've seen so many shows there. And I think for anybody who creates their own work, it's such an inspiring and fantastic venue, because there's always something going on there, isn't there? And you can always, you know, you could just stay there all night and catch a bunch of things and find a new favorite playwright. So I adore that venue. So I'm really honored to have been asked to do this today. I've seen so many pals and stuff there, and I really hope to do something there myself. But when they asked me to do this, and I was trying to work out what to speak about, and I saw like the amazing people who've come before me, you know, there were a lot of really specific, really interesting topics, and I was like, what is my thing? I don't know what I can bring. But when I think truthfully about what I do, it always leads from a place of love and honesty and authenticity, and a lot of the time it's painful. And I think the most important lesson I learn in my journey, I'm 34 now, I've been in this industry, God, like properly doing it probably for like 8-9 years, like you know, like this is my main thing that I do. And I think the one thing I wish I'd learned sooner was to let go of the boxes that people tried to put me in, and just be more truthful to myself and to what I needed. Yeah, so I thought that's maybe something that it's helpful to discuss with you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. So please ask me as many questions as humanly possible, because it's this, I said it earlier to some of you, this is about creating authentic work and being truthful to yourself and letting go of perfectionism and all of that. So I can tell you my experience, but you asking me questions is probably going to benefit you more, and I'm proper open. So hit me and I will answer as honestly and truthfully as I can. So for me, in my career for a long time, especially I think as a mixed race person, I was quite confused about my identity. I probably still am. The Black Lives Matter movement kicking off in the middle of lockdown definitely made me think a lot about where I fit and how I feel. And I think for a long time, when I started out and I was singing primarily, I felt like I had to sound blacker than I did. I think that's what they wanted, and that box didn't really fit. So I was teaching myself to riff, and I always felt I was just trying to be something that I wasn't, so much so that eventually I think I lost my own voice a little bit, and not just singing voice, but generally. And I often wonder, you know, who would I be if the world stopped telling me how to be? Like, if we never, you know, we go to school and we learn so many things and we never learn how to love ourselves, and how to speak truth to that. And I think, you know, I can't really do long division, but, you know, that's what I was taught over anyone telling me to support myself for who I am, and to shout out loud and proudly about that. And that blows my mind that we aren't taught that. And then I think we have it as children, and then it's beaten out of us along the way. And I think we really need to find a way back to ourselves as adults. And that can be a really difficult thing, because by then you have bills to pay, and you have, you know, I don't know, children to look after, or partner that you care about. There's so many other factors that can get in the way of that. And I think sometimes the hardest thing can be to strip everything else away and to just sit down and bleed, and say what it is you really want to say. And I think so often as well, we go to courses and we learn the craft, and that's so important. I've seen a question and I'm going to come for that, Scarlett. Yeah, it's wait, let me get this question now and then I'm going to go back because I don't want to lose it. So Scarlett has said, you play a lot of different roles in the industry, which is something I think most people in performing arts have to do nowadays. But how do you respond to people saying that you have a lack of focus? I mean, I don't respond to that. I don't think I do have a lack of focus. I don't think playing lots of different roles means that you have a lack of focus. And I think if anybody is saying that, I think that's that negative self-talk, and I think that's, we allow that stuff to come in, but actually who is anybody to comment on what we do? And for me, I think very much one thing informs the other. I think having directed, I'm a better actor because I know, and I behave better in the room because I know how stressful it is for directors, and I know how they see absolutely everything. I think being an actor makes me a better writer because I know what actors need. And I think it all, I'm so sorry that's been said to you, and I don't think that's fair, and I think they need to shush. I think it can all inform the other. I think what you have to be mindful of is not spinning all of the plates at once all of the time, because I think we can all be guilty of that, and we do need a bit of focus in terms of, I think, listen to your heart. What is the one that really is shouting the loudest? What is the one that, you know, you die for? There's so much crap in this industry. You end up doing the least of the bit you love. So I think you really have to listen to that and pay mind to that. And I think this person could just be wrong, but if there is any truth in it, or if part of it made your hackles come up and you think, oh, maybe there is something there because that really bothered me, really listen to that voice that's shouting and is the thing that you really, really, really need and want to do. Because, and sometimes you have to let go of one of the others. You have to drop one of the plates or a couple of the plates. And that's definitely something I did. I started as a singer, and to be honest, I'm only finding that again now. I sort of let that go for about 3 years. But I think I needed to do that for me, and I think it allowed me to grow in other areas, and I think that's fine. And now I've come back around, but I couldn't have done everything at once. And for me and for Sarah, who I run Burn Bright with, we definitely had to make a decision to kind of say, we never started out wanting to be producers, and we're spending more time producing than we are creating. And so we did have to take that producer hat off a bit. And now we do produce with Burn Bright, but in a much more sort of creative capacity. And Tara Finney, who we run the company with, who we love very much and are so grateful for, she kicks us up the bum, get stuff done. We had a really frank and honest discussion with each other where we were like, okay, what do we want to do and what do we not want to do? And that's fine. And I think that's important. So I would say, always listen to the voice that's screaming the loudest and do put that one first. But sometimes to get there, you might have to do a couple of other things. I went a very strange way round, and writing my own stuff is what then got me on television and leads me back to where I am now, where I was at before. I think for me, I found writing through a lack of parts that I felt I could play. I didn't see myself anywhere, and I set up the company because of that. I didn't see my friends represented. I didn't see myself represented, and I was sick of that. And initially, I probably created stuff that wasn't completely true to myself. It was more the stuff I thought I wanted to be doing. But as that grows and you find your confidence and you connect with others and you get a fan base, you know, for the work we were doing. I'm not someone who walks around saying I have fans, but for the company and the sort of work we created, we had people who would come back and give us that love. And we really listened to that and to what they want. And then it sets you free a bit, I think, because you're like, oh, I'm onto something now, and this feels good and this is working. And I think with that confidence, much as I was just saying to you, Scarlett, there is always that niggling voice. I think we all have it, and I think we all know what we want to say, but sometimes we get lost in it. And what I was going to say before was, we'll go to courses and we'll learn how to write and, you know, the structures and all of those things. And as part of Burn Bright, we have a time bank where we offer free time to women writers. There's loads of people on there. Check it out on our website. It's burnbright.org.uk, and I do some time bank sessions with writers. And so often I hear it, they're getting so bogged down in the structure and what people want for them, and you know, and the traditions. And I'm like, okay, but you know that stuff, so you know what works. And ultimately, it's about storytelling, isn't it? Whether it's a song, whether it's a film, whether it's a play, a good story grips us. So I'm not saying don't know the structure, to absolutely understand the rules. But for me, I'd say primarily so you can break them if you need to, because those rules have also been designed, you know, by other people. And so often, you know, I'm talking to these young women who want to tell their story, and they're worrying about rules that were set by middle-aged, old, rich white men who they're not writing that story for. So I think you have to allow yourself that freedom sometimes to just tell your story in the way you want to tell it, and let go of those voices that tell you it's not good enough and this isn't how it's done. And it's not, because, you know, if I walked in with Lin-Manuel Miranda's idea of Hamilton, you know, before he'd done it, to like the National, and said, I want to do this thing about the founding fathers and I want to make it hip hop, they would have laughed me out of the room. And like, but now look at Hamilton. And you know, you have to remember these things sometimes. Like, someone always has to be the first to do it, and that is a terrifying thing. But who knows how far you'll go. And I think playing into what's come before, or what we feel we should do, or all of these things stifle us and stifle our creativity. And you might make something that, yeah, it doesn't really work. It is a bit of a mess, but you might learn from it. There might be 2 lines in that play that then spark a whole other idea. I never think creating something is a waste. And I think so many times I've started out and I'm sure, like, this is it, this is the one, but actually I just met somebody on that job that then led to something else. And at the point I decided to just sort of let go and say, I've just got this burning stuff inside me and I just have to say it, and I don't know what it's gonna be. And I wrote a one-woman show and I called it The Hardest One, because I was like, the hardest story to tell is the true one. And I just sat, I was working in East London on this reception at a creative workspace. And the beauty of it was they'd let me do my own work as long as I let everyone in and smiled. And I just wrote, and it was just a stream of consciousness. It just went bleh. And I got my best friend to direct it, Sarah Henley, who I run Burn Bright with, and one of my best friends to be in it, Tim. So I felt very safe, and I did that on purpose because these people knew me. And I remember Sarah saying to me, this is so well structured. Gang, I hadn't even tried to structure it. I never tried to structure it. That was the last thing I did. I was so scared that I was just like, I didn't even change names in it. I just said it. And it's really interesting to me that actually it was naturally well structured because it's my life and it's my story. And so it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I don't think anybody can tell you how to tell your story better than you know how to. I think the trick is sometimes it takes a long time for you to work out how to tell it, and you might go through a few iterations before you get to the one. But I don't think that's a bad thing, and I think you learn in those processes. So I think you need to allow yourself to be playful and to be fearless and to mess up. Like I read earlier, I'm doing The Artist's Way at the moment. I don't know if any of you have. Feel free to tell me if you have. I would really recommend it. And there's a line in it that says something like, you can't be great while you're getting better. And it really resonated with me. And I was like, oh yeah, I think we put so much pressure on being perfect that actually we don't grow. And ego comes in. And Playground Theatre, are you doing The Artist's Way? Or have you done it? It's so good. I'd recommend it, guys. Yeah, I think ego can come in. It's like, well, no, because I've got to be great and I've got to be wonderful. And so where's the space to learn? Where's the space to make mistakes? And where's the space to be, you know, we have to be uncomfortable and we have to feel that, you know. And I think that's why very much I'm too impatient to have just waited to save up enough money or find a producer who was just going to throw money at my work and put it on. So everything that I did in my career, initially I just put on myself. And I say just as if that's easy. It was really hard. And and exhausting, and I am still paying off debts for it now. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but it led to incredible opportunities that I only could have dreamed of, and I think it's made me much better at what I do. And it allowed me space to learn and to try and to F up, and it's a really beautiful process, and it's not easy, but I think that's where you find your voice. And I think if you just wait to be picked up and plonked in things, it can be easy to lose that voice and then wake up years later and go, I don't. So I think so much about this industry, you think there's these, you know, when I've had a show on there, I'll have made it. When I've won this award, I'll have made it. So it just becomes your life, you know. I'd always dreamed of acting on television, and I've done it, and I adore it, and I love it, and I feel so grateful to have had that opportunity. And my God, I hope more opportunities come around again. But it's still your life. You're still tired. You miss your friends. You know, you don't suddenly get somewhere and everything's perfect. That's not real life. And I think if you live your life waiting for this perfect moment, for it to be done like that, because it's got to be at this venue, all of these things are just procrastination, and they're just stopping you from hearing your voice. And I always say, if it doesn't work in a black box, it doesn't work. Like, if you can't just, you know, read it to somebody in a tiny space, if they feel it, there's something there. If they don't, and they need the smoke and mirrors and all the, you know, well, you've got to imagine this light, and you've got to let it go. Like, let it go. Like, what's the point? So you can do that anywhere. And now where they're opening up this, you know, outside space, found space, like, get on it, get on Zoom, get your friends there, record it, and hear it, hear your work, hear stuff out loud. Don't cling on to it for too long, because hearing it is the beauty of it. And that's when you know when it drags or it clunks, or when you've said stuff. I'm the worst at that, for just repeating myself like 6 times, because I'm like, but they need to understand. And then actually when I hear it out loud, I go, oh, I said that. I said that there. I said that already. And it gives you that faith to just get the red pen out and slash it and trust yourself more, I think. And also, if you have great lines, you can always recycle them. So just see it as recycling. Don't cling on to stuff. Just for a little time check, we've got like 9 minutes left on this session, so I do just want to encourage you to ask questions if you have any, because I always feel like I can be way more helpful if I can answer your questions than just wang on about myself. For a little bit about Burn Bright, which is the company I run. I'm going to say obviously, but I don't know. That came out of adversity. We had a really difficult situation, Sarah and I, where we'd worked on a project for 4 years, and then it was announced without our names on it. And it was the erasure of our work on a really high profile project. And we felt very strongly that if we didn't speak out about it, we would be part of the problem, and we'd be complicit. And for us, it felt, everyone told us if we spoke out, our careers would end, and it was really painful and really awful. But ultimately we felt we wouldn't want to be a part of something that operated like that, and we want to be the change we want to see. So we spoke out about it, but the most important thing to us was that, okay, but how do we make change? We don't just want to moan about it. That's not going to bring the show back, or, you know, that's not going to fill what we lost. So Burn Bright was born. And we do live events. So at the moment they're over Zoom. That's better in person. We have one on the 31st of August with a focus on Black women writers. It shuts today, I think. I think we take submissions up until this evening. I think the Burn Bright girls might be here and they can tell me if that's wrong. So please tell your friends. And you don't have to write anything for us. We don't go for that. Like, we just want you to send a couple of pages of something you've already written. So it's minimal time. We don't want any red tape as this organisation. We want writers to be spending the time doing the work that they want to do and finding their voices, not filling in application forms for us. There's also the time bank that I mentioned earlier. Yes, that is right. So please send in submissions until this evening. I think, is it 6 p.m? So handy to have them here. The time bank, you can log on, you can get a session with, we've had like Kirsty Swain, who writes for TV, Ollie Lancey, who writes for TV, Dawn King's on there at the moment, I've been on there, Tara Finney, producer, who works with us by Playground Theatre. And yeah, it's just free time. and we have a Zoom chat. The better in person that I was talking about, the live events, they're based on conversations that would be better in person that are happening over Zoom. So that's the only criteria that we give the writers, and to write truthful to themselves. So again, we have really diverse, beautiful stories on there. And we've also got connect events, which are much like these, but we have breakout rooms, and there's 3 of those happening, all with various themes, so you can check those out. And they're about £3. So we keep everything free or super affordable, and always reach out if you're struggling financially, because it's way more important to us that you get the tools and the support that you need, rather than worry about money, because that's boring. So we've got like 5 minutes left. Please hit me with some questions if you have any. I would love to know if you have any questions, or I can just keep, you know, wanging on if that's what you if you want. Yeah. But basically, I guess my main takeaway would be, trust yourself and don't let other people's voices dampen your own. I think the older I get and the more I achieve and experience, the more I realize no one really knows what they're doing. And all of the moments of success, all of the moments where you tick a box, it doesn't feel that different, you know, whether it's whether it's the first ever job you get in a fringe theatre, or whether it's a movie. It's the same joy and achievement and excitement, and that's the beautiful bit. The beautiful bit is in the creating, and actually the bigger and the more successful you get, the less of that beautiful stuff you get to do, and the more red tape, and you can't go back there because you've done this, and there's more people involved. You lose something. And I think never underestimate, as scary as it is to create and as scary as it is to tell your truth, you probably won't get to do that for very long in the same way. So really enjoy every minute of it, and enjoy the freedom and the power that comes with. There's so much strength in vulnerability, and people connect to it so well. And whenever I've been really honest and put it out there, and I kind of pride myself on being that person now, I never think I have it all worked out, but I'll let you know where I effed up in the hope it'll help you. But it feels like healing both ways, because it's amazing how people will reach out and share so much back with you, and it just feels like such a lovely, safe circle. And I think it can help you to move forward. I think we think, oh God, if I put that out, it would be terrifying. Actually, it can propel you and make you even more fearless. And once you've shared that stuff with the world, like you are kind of fearless. It's like, well, I've done that now. People know that. Like, and what, you know, you own it. But as long as you look after yourself, you know, never throw yourself out there in a painful way. Definitely have supportive people around you, nice accommodation. You know, I had one show that they kindly said I could take it to Edinburgh, and I was really excited about that, but it was painful, and I was like, I can't take that show there and be like sharing with like 20 people and flying all day, and because just my mental health just would not survive. So I think also know what you need and don't be afraid of that. That's, you know, I think especially as women, we often feel like we're a diva if we set boundaries, and that's something I'm learning, and I think we could all do with that. I think knowing what you need is really important, and no bad thing. So we have 2 minutes and I've had no more questions. I'm so sad, because I really wanted to be able to like give directly to you, but I hope this has been helpful. And I believe in you. I believe that you can tell your story better than anybody else, and I believe the world needs to hear more stories from people who don't look or sound like everybody that you see on the television. So I think especially if you're feeling like why would anyone care, or I think that's exactly why you need to write it. And also trust that you can't write for everyone, you can't please everyone. And I think coming from a truthful place. You just have to own that this is your story, this is your narrative, and you don't have to tick the box for absolutely everybody else. Because if you try and do that, again, your own voice can get lost, and you feel this responsibility and this weight that you don't necessarily need to. Because I think as long as it's truthful, it will connect with people. I've been to see things that aren't about my experience at all, but it's come from such a truthful place. I'm like, oh, I know that feeling. I understand that. So yeah, I think never underestimate that truth, even if it doesn't look like that person's or that person's, will always feel truthful and will probably always unlock something in somebody else. And also educate, because the more we hear where each other are coming from, the more we learn and the more we question ourselves. So that is our time up. It's been so nice to chat to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, please reach out as well. My Instagram's just my name. My Facebook is just my name, I think. But I'm on Instagram more. But please, yeah, just send me a message, or please get on online at Burn Bright. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well. It's we_Burn Bright. And please get involved with some of the initiatives and let us know what would help you. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for joining me. Have an absolutely beautiful day. And also, don't beat yourself up if you're not being creative at the moment. It's the frigging pandemic. So if you just want to eat ice cream in your pants, I'm here for you. You don't need to write every day. You will find your time, and living is material, isn't it? Oh, my Instagram is my name. So Tori, Tori, Allen, Allen, Martin, Martin. So Tori Allen Martin, just all one, at Instagram. Cool. Thank you so much. Have a gorgeous day, guys. Bye. Oh.